This is Southern Cross News with Rick Fontaine.
The state opposition leader has strongly rejected claims from the government that her party will be spending taxpayers' money to prop up the budget after removing poker machines from pubs and clubs. The Liberals claiming the compensation plan for venues will rip money from health and education.
Tasmanians fail to understand why Rebecca White is spending $55 million to undermine industry, to remove jobs and to punish the 99.5% of Tasmanians that gamble responsibly.
$25 million is in loan funding, so that will be repaid. $25 million is in direct grants, which is garnered from tax revenue from poker machines over 5 years. It's money that's clearly demonstrated will make a huge difference to the lives of the people of Tasmanians.
Poker machines are predicted to be a key issue coming into the March election. 9 land blocks in Belle, Reve have today gone under the hammer in a rare opportunity for buyers in a tough property market. The land snapped up within an hour, described as an historic event, fetching record interest from buyers.
Furious bidding as land blocks in one of Hobart's most sought-after suburbs go under the hammer.
$390, who's going to round it up to $400 I'm looking for.
This Hobart couple relieved to finally secure a piece of paradise.
$420,000 sold!
Hopefully our dream home.
Dream house and somewhere to raise the kids.
Almost 500 onlookers settling in to watch the action at Belle, Reve.
Yes, we're just looking at comparing prices with where we live.
It's a historic event.
Witnessing as 9 lots on the grounds of the old beachside kindergarten are snapped up by buyers.
Well done, $465,000. Congratulations.
It's obviously a rare opportunity for land like this to come onto the market.
Maybe live in a lovely location, walk to the Oval, walk to the beach.
The land blocks all sold within the hour, ranging between $375,000 and $500,000, securing almost $4 million for the state government-owned land.
It's been fairly competitive bidding, so yeah, I think a whole range of emotions.
I've been in the industry for about 15 years and I don't think I've ever seen a response like this to an auction campaign before. It's been absolutely phenomenal.
Our state experiencing an explosion of interest in property, particularly in the Hobart market, with Launceston and the northwest coast not far behind.
This year we look like breaking the record for the highest aggregate or the highest amount value of property sold in Tasmania ever, and it'll be the best result we've had in 10 years for the number of sales. Driven by increased tourism numbers, interstate investors and local buyers, pushing prices 10 to 15% above the asking price. You know, it may be a good time for people moving into 2018, if they're thinking of selling, that may be the time to do it. Louise Hedger, Southern Cross News.
A Bushfire Watch and Act message remains in place for Brooks Hill and Flagstaff Road to Basin Creek in St Helens. Crews have been battling to control the 86-hectare blaze since it broke out late yesterday. Motorists are being asked to be cautious, with a large amount of smoke making visibility limited. Residents are urged to have an emergency evacuation plan in place and to monitor the TFS website for updates. A survey released late this afternoon has found management within the Tasmanian Health Service is not operating effectively. The external report finding this needs to improve communication, consultation and accountability. It says there is a perceived lack of unity within the service, which is impacting the broader organisation. It also found qualified staff aren't able to fill positions in areas of specialty. The report has been handed to a Cabinet subcommittee for consideration. Tenders are now open for the Launceston General Hospital's Children's Ward 4K. The $9.8 million project will see the ward redesigned, expanded and refurbished to incorporate both a paediatric inpatient unit and paediatric mental health unit. Tenders close on February 2nd. Paddlers have been given the opportunity to enjoy more water sports at the Cataract Gorge, with Hydro Tasmania releasing extra water into the dam today. It comes as part of a promise to conduct at least 2 water releases for the next 5 years in a bid to boost tourism and support kayaking. Hydro Tasmania and the state's tourism bodies hope the water releases will attract paddlers from across the nation. The second drop will be in February to coincide with Festivali in Launceston. Auction, displaying Australia's largest collection of petrol memorabilia and collectibles, has attracted scores of fanatics from across the country. It took more than 7 hours to get through close to 700 items at the Armitage Auction, with some dating back to the 1930s. One lucky collector went home with a rare Dunlop tyres sign which sold for $16,000.
Collectors of these type of signs, they love them to be in original condition, so these ones are untouched basically from when they've been hung up. This is our fourth one that we've had in the last 2 years, but this is easily the biggest and the best one we've had so far.
More than half the items came from one collector who has been accumulating signs, bottles and boxes for 40 years. A cultural trail immersing visitors in Aboriginal culture has today been opened to the public after almost 3 years of planning. The 700-metre trail in Deloraine is the first of its kind in Tasmania, designed to showcase Aboriginal culture through sculptures and mosaics.
Emotions were high as years of planning finally came to fruition. A unique Aboriginal trail now open to the public.
This is just something that everyone can be proud of, and I'm just so happy for the Tasmanian Aboriginal people, because this is their trail, still their land, and this is just to signify a place for them to have a sense of identity and share in culture.
A community united, walking the Cooperuna Nyara Trail, both Aboriginal and non-Aboriginal side by side, all in a bid to close the gap.
It's about educating visitors from interstate, from international and locals as well, to come down and just have a look and familiarise themselves and educate themselves about the culture, about our bush tucker, and their survival.
The trail boasts native plantings and artworks inspired by Tasmanian Aboriginal culture. It leads to this, a yarning circle where the community come together and share stories the traditional way.
I think it's really important. I think it shows, one is that we understand and respect the culture, and two is that we want to continue to help share those stories into the future.
The total project cost more than $110,000. Rita Risk, Southern Cross News.
Pride and bragging rights were on the line on the Tasman Peninsula today as some of Tasmania's best surfers battled it out for the annual state team's title. And competition was fierce, with a trip to Newcastle on the line for the Australian title. For years, the South Arm Board Riders Club dominated the day until the boys and girls from the Northwest Coast provided the upset last year.
After us winning it for 3 years in a row, I think everyone was sort of, grabbing for it a little bit, and we lost last year and now we're coming for redemption.
That healthy rivalry between the state's four clubs fuelling competition.
And that's the key. That really is the key. It's the rivalry between the clubs, harnessing all of that, and club spirit and pride is on the line here.
Mother Nature providing some clean 2-metre sets at Roaring Beach after the last-minute decision was made to move the event from South Arm.
It's been pretty fun compared to what comp surfing's usually like. We've actually had some fun waves, and everyone's been out for a free surf and they're all warmed up.
The emerging footballer and surfer taking time out from a busy schedule to get involved as she prepares to progress herself further in both sports next year.
I'll just be travelling a fair bit and trying to get up internationally and across Australia for footy and surfing as much as possible.
Stokely helping her home club to the win. They'll now travel to Newcastle in February.
Hardcore bunch of individuals down here, and they've got some great surfers, so they hold their own.
The Hobart Hurricanes are looking the goods ahead of their opening BBL 7 clash for the season on Thursday, completing a successful pre-season tour with another win. The side defeating the Melbourne Stars by 64 runs overnight in Victoria. George Bailey, Alex Doolan and Darcy Short the best with the bat, helping the visitors along to 5 for 175 before bowling the Stars all out for 111, with Clive Rose and Cameron Boyce taking 2 wickets apiece.
Good evening, welcome back. 22 degrees today for Hobart and Launceston. Burnie reaching 23 with a cooler day in Devonport, 20 degrees. Around Tasmania, 24 was the state's top at St Helens, Cressy and Fingal. Wynyard and Campania as well as Ouse all hit 23. 21 for Grove and Flinders Island. 20 the top for King Island, Lowhead and Scottsdale with 19 for Strawn. And slightly cooler in 17 degrees for Medina and Liawini. Looking onto the satellite, you can see the frontal cloud band visible there moving off to the east. Thunderstorm activity over the Bight and over northwestern parts of the territory, with the remainder mostly cloud-free. And also mostly low cloud visible over Tasmania. Tomorrow the high extends over Tasmania, passing to the east, the trough stretching from the north across to Victoria, while the low and cold fronts track east across the Bight. On the Tasmanian waters, southwest to southeasterly winds, mostly 10 to 20 knots, tending east to northeasterly later, with seas rising to 2 metres. No warnings, so looking ahead to Sunday, a sunny day for southern regions. Hobart 22, 23 at Richmond with ooze reaching 26 degrees, mostly sunny. 25 in Launceston, Devonport 20, cloudy throughout with a sunny day, and 22 for Deloraine. Slightly cooler in Burnie, 20 degrees with possible drizzle later, 22 at Strawn, Curry 21 degrees, and some drizzle might hit the east coast later on, 20 degrees at St Helens, 22 for Swansea with white mark reaching 23. And the UV is extreme for most streeters. Looking ahead to Monday, fine apart from some possible morning drizzle to cool things off in the north and the east, fine elsewhere. Tuesday showing a mostly cloudy day with some showers for the west and the east, but a hot day expected for the south, with showers forecast for Wednesday, contracting to the west and the far south later on. Let's take a look around Australia for tomorrow. 41 for Alice Springs, 31 in Brisbane and Canberra. A cloudy day in Sydney, 27 degrees, with a mostly sunny day for Melbourne and a scorching 38 in Adelaide. And a few clouds about in the south, 17 for Hobart, 22 in Launceston, a clear night, and a few clouds in Devonport, 18. Back to you, Rick.
Beautifully done. Great to have you back too, Sam. Well, that is all your news for now. On behalf of the entire team, we hope you have a fantastic Saturday night. Thanks for your company. Good night.